Recording. We are recording.
Okay.
We are
right.
going steakity bakety.
Okie dokie. I will compose myself and then decide when to go.
That's absolutely fine. I can't believe that they've left us to do it again. They haven't learnt from the first error.
No, when we did it the first time, it was an absolute mess. It was terrible. It was so good that the best episode there has ever been. But I don't know. I can't believe they've done it again. 2 mistakes in one group. And it only took 26 episodes for them to make the mistake again. Fools!
Ha! Idiots!
You fool, Jebbaroo and Rich Owens. You fools. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Football Manager Therapy. I am your host, Rich. Oh, no, I'm not. It's a twin takeover. Hell yes, I am your host, the Steak Bake, and I am joined today by the wonderful, the lovely, the gorgeous D-Boy Place. Hello, Dan. How are you, buddy?
I'm surprisingly all right. I mean, my legs are still a little bit stiff. We're going to get onto that in a moment. And obviously, voices are a little bit tender from us speaking very loudly for large portions of an evening, which again, we'll get into. But other than that, I'm doing fantastic. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you, mate. Feeling very similar, despite the fact I didn't play in the game. And yet I seem to be limping more than half of you. How unfit am I? Mad respect to anyone that got onto the field this weekend. And we will get on straight to this weekend, because that is why we are here. We are here to discuss what really happened at this weekend's charity match between the FM content creators and a Slough Town Fan 11. It was a great day. It was a fantastic day. Dan, you played in the game.
I did.
How did you feel the day went overall? We'll go for general stuff first, and then we'll get into the nitty gritty.
I mean, overall, the day went amazingly, really, really well. I think there was tremendous support at the ground. I think there was a really, really good group of people that obviously turned up before Slough's first home game. Crazy that they'd even let us do the pitch. Massive shout out to Connor as well at Slough for helping organise all of this nonsense. Obviously, the main thing of it raised loads of money for charity, which is fantastic. And I think overall, just the fact that we'd all managed to get together, do something like this was just loads of fun. And it's always great when there's a little FM meetup. But this one felt a little bit just a smidge more special just because of the occasion, I think.
Yeah, it was definitely special. And obviously we had the charity match planned 2 years ago.
Yeah,
and cancelled for unforeseen circumstances. And then to get it on this time, to get it played, to get everyone down, to raise a butt ton of money for charity is just absolutely huge. And we will obviously be leaving the donation link in the comments of this video. So please get down. It was for Mind Charity, wonderful charity, mental health, obviously, Football Manager Therapy. We're big on the mental health here at the podcast. And we've discussed it many times before. We regularly do a podcast where we just ask each other how we are and things like that, which is absolutely fantastic. So we're big on the mental health. So please go and give some money to Mind Charity if you can. Links in the description, or go to Callum's channel, ! Donate in his chat, and it'll be up for the week. And I think a load of people will post videos and things. So you see the link around Twitter. I'm sure you'll see it. We'll post it on Twitter as well after we post this video. So yeah, we'll definitely have the link around. It was an absolutely fantastic cause. So let's go into some details about the day. So we got to the ground. In fact, let's start with the Friday, because we turned up a little bit early on the Friday, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Because Callum was a bit worried about how we would feel doing a bit of a kickabout. So we decided to have, Callum decided to have a little bit of a kickabout on the Friday. And a few of the lads from the game turned up. And so we got there, and McKinn's and Nerdphonic were just kind of stood in a field with a football, waiting for us to show up. And we went and had a kickabout, and it was a lot of fun, wasn't it?
It was great. It was loads of fun. It was if anything, it was just a nice little bonding experience, little hanging out. I think if other players had managed to be available for it, I think it would have just been a nice pre-game meet up and hang out and whatnot. Obviously, but bless Steve Hood. He'd committed to coming along to have our kickabout with us. And just as we finished, literally as we arrived at the car park, to be like, all right, should we go to the pub, go for a beer? Steve pulls up in his car and we're like, oh, cheers for coming. We're done now. We'll see you in a bit, mate. We'll see you tomorrow. And he's like, oh, all right, we'll go to the hotel then. But it was great. It was really fun. Just having a bit of a kickabout. I think it was good as well, just to kind of see what people's level was. I think we were all kind of a similar level. Like, we'd all obviously kicked a football before. And it was nice to just get back in the swing of things, because before that training session, I hadn't properly kicked a football for about 2 years. So, and even in the build up to it, I remember saying to Callum all the time, he was like, yeah, he said like, oh, he's done a 5K and whatnot. I was like, cool. I still haven't kicked a football, Callum. And he's like, it's fine, it'll be fine. We'll have a kickabout. We'll have a kickabout. It's like, please, can we really have a kickabout? Because I'm worried I will have forgotten what to do when it gets to my feet. So we had, a lovely little kickabout. You went in goal. You volunteered to be prisoner, and just cool. We'll just kick the ball at you as hard as we can and see what happens.
You're all very nice about it, though. To be fair, I felt like there were chances where you could have run at me and blasted it right at me, but you all were like, "I'm going to neatly place this in the bottom corner so he doesn't have to run so far to get the ball." And after about 3 runs, I was like, "Guys, I'm knackered now. You guys have been training for this. I'm not playing tomorrow." Someone stand behind the goal, and Rich and Callum stood behind the goal, and then we kind of just shot between us, which was quite a lot of fun. But it was just a nice little kickabout, and mostly icebreaker, I think, to kind of for a couple of you, just to be like, this is what we're going to be like tomorrow. Don't expect unbelievable things. But actually, to be fair, level was pretty good. I thought the level was pretty good. I certainly couldn't have told. I couldn't have told that you hadn't kicked a ball in 2 years from that little training session or from the match.
It's just natural for some people, Steak.
The football never leaves you.
Yeah,
unless Jamie Carragher tells you it's left you.
Yeah, well, I was about to say, I've definitely left the football. So there we go.
Yeah, so after the Friday, we then took to the town to have a few drinks with some of the people that could get there on the Friday night. Not loads and loads of people, but kind of half the crowd that were there, if that, of the night after. So that was quite nice, chilling in the Wetherspoons in Slough. Cheap as heck, guys. If you want a cheap beer,
so cheap,
so unbelievably cheap. So I was drinking Doom Bar. I'm just going to go on about beer now. I was drinking Doom Bar, which is classic, run of the mill real ale that you get. Most pubs serve it if they serve a real ale. And I have a camera card, which gives me a 50p off every pint. So I was paying £1.49 for a pint.
It's already a bargain. It's already £2.
Yeah, £1.99 is amazing. Yeah. But £1.49 for a pint is mental. I can't remember that. In fact, I'm not old enough to remember when beer was that price. So my dad always goes, I don't. When I was drinking, I used to say if it ever went over £1, I'd never drink again. I was like, oh, Dad, you're so old. But paid £1.50 the other day. So,
Yeah, I think there were a few student nights where it was like, oh yeah, it's like £1 a pint in this place on a Monday.
Yeah,
because no one goes out on a Monday. So all of a sudden, Rob, we're going out on Mondays then, aren't we? And getting a pint of cider for £1 was good, but it was still very, very reasonably priced in Slough.
That's the most impressive part of Slough, isn't it? Because there's not that much going for the town itself. Bless it. It tries hard, but
it is not a place to go sightseeing.
No, I wouldn't say book a week's holiday to Slough at any point, but a night out, why the hell not? A lot of fun.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I think it's something like the big Tesco is like 5th on the things to visit. Like when a supermarket is one of your most interesting attractions, you've gone wrong as a town, really.
Yeah, definitely. To be fair, we should talk about number 1 on that list. I assume it's number 1, which is of course Arbor Park.
Better be number 1.
It should be number 1. Arbor Park's actually really nice ground, like really beautiful ground, recently done, lovely looking pitch, really well kept, beautifully painted and designed and things like that. Looks nice and modern. Really, really impressive. It's an impressive club, isn't it? Considering it's the National League South, it's a professional looking club.
Oh yeah, 100%. I remember saying it on the day. I think it might have been to us as we were walking up. It reminds me of this is mildly niche as a reference, but if anyone's ever been to Jersey and seen Jersey Towns or Jersey FC or Jersey City, whatever they've called, their ground, which is super modern and whatnot, it reminded me loads of that. But it's, like you say, compared to a lot of National League teams, no shade on any National League teams. I appreciate that money's tight at that level and whatnot, but there's a handful around where I live. Even again, very relatively close to Slough. Like we've got Woking, Dorking. I think I've got Aldershot nearby, and like even just looking at the outside of those grounds, you're a bit like, all right, that looks like a non-league ground to me. But if Arbor Park had 4 sides to it, like 4 proper tiers to it, you'd be like, oh, this is like League One, Championship, maybe. Like it's just nice. It just looks new and modern and clean, and yeah, really, really impressed with the ground overall.
It reminds me a little bit of Burton Albion's ground, the Pirelli Stadium.
Right.
Pirelli, however you say it. They have recently built their ground. So it's got this, the kind of tin, it's not tin, but metal, exposed metal outside, kind of War of the Worlds, kind of Birmingham New Street Station, if you like, shiny outside. And Slough's got that. And I think it looks really, really, really clean, really modern. And obviously, we can't talk about Slough Town without talking about the people involved. You briefly mentioned Connor, but I've got to mention Aid as well. And just everybody at the club. So in the shop, like everyone who came behind the bar, just they could not do more for us yet again. Because when I went the first time, this is what I said last time, was that they literally couldn't do. Look, you could have asked them for anything. They'd be, yes, of course, we will get that sorted for you. Anything you need within reason, obviously, we'll get it sorted for you. They were so accommodating, so kind, gave us access to wherever we needed to go, let us come in the ground way early so that we could get all set up, all of that kind of thing. And so we turned up at what, 9:30?
Yeah, 9:30, 10, maybe, something like that.
Yeah, which is earlier than we should have turned up. But yeah, we were allowed in, given straight access to the dressing rooms. How were the dressing rooms, by the way?
Well, I only saw the away one, so can't comment on home. But as far as away one, pretty clean. Like it was everything. It had everything that you'd want in a changing rooms. It was a bit hot in there, but I think that was on the account of there being 17 men exuding heat.
Yes, and a few out of shape ones as well.
These guy. But yeah, it was just like, oh, as we were getting changed, it's a bit warm in here. And Matt Saki Alakato was like, it's like a tropical jungle in here.
Maybe we'll have to bring a Dex fan next time, just to
maybe, or open a window
around the room.
That might have helped.
Yeah. No, so they were really nice, and then obviously people started to turn up. Dressing room, I'm guessing, filled up. Good atmosphere in the dressing room. Everyone seemed quite ready.
It was good, considering, like, I mean, just talking from my point of view, because other than, the FMT lot and ex-FMT people and, the kind of alum and whatnot, I didn't know really anyone other than seeing their faces on a screen during a stream. And the fact that, or, you've seen them on YouTube or whatever, and considering that was the capacity I think a lot of us knew each other in, it was like we were all mates. There was immediately just sort of like, chatting, hanging out, making jokes, everyone having a good time. And it was lovely. It was really, just getting to sort of just natter with everyone. And there was just a very positive sort of vibe going into it. Lujo was busy trying to sort out his megaphone, which didn't work.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness it broke. Sorry, Kev. Sorry, Kev. It'd been very funny. It'd have been a great bit, really funny. But from my perspective, as soon as I heard the siren go off, I was just like, please break. And it did.
Just immediately. I hope that breaks. And then maybe you've got special powers, Steak.
Your Spider-Man poster is about to fall off your wall now. It'd have been really good if you just yanked it down. Don't worry about it.
Planned that, perhaps.
If we had,
a small bit of string. You could go over and knock it off the wall if you want, but then I'll have to put it. I'll just leave it. But yeah, it was. There was immediately like a camaraderie. I can't remember who said it. I know Callum sort of quoted it in our sort of players chat, but we went in as sort of friends and we all left as brothers. Like we were all super close and sort of chatty and whatnot. And again, just nice being in a room full of people that, regardless of how big they were, because that's an odd thing to maybe say, but some people could have been like, I've got 100,000 followers. I don't care, but I'm not talking to you. But everyone was just like, hey, how's it going? And just super chatty and hanging out. And it was wonderful that these these icons of FM are just normal human beings.
It's lovely, isn't it, when you find out that you're just actually surrounded by a bunch of nice people. And I think that's my real takeaway from the weekend, apart from Slough being the nicest club in the world. And we've raised loads of money for charity, which is unbelievably amazing. Also, everybody's really nice and everybody's great to hang out with. And the hangouts in and around the game we'll get on to later. But yeah, they were absolutely lovely and everyone seemed great. But obviously we don't get that view of in the dressing room on the pitch. Which is what happened next. You headed down, did some warm-ups.
Oh, yes.
I tell you what, from the expanded view of my position up in the commentary box, or the gantry, or kind of flatness of concrete, by the seats above the tunnel, it looks so professional, you guys warming up, because obviously you had your numbers on your back, you all had the same kits on. And no offense to the Slough fans, because they were using their own kits. So they didn't have numbers on, and they went for a shirts versus skins game. So it looked a little bit more charity match, I would say.
Sure.
But you lined up and you did some wits, you did some shots, you did a rondo in the middle with like pass to each other, run to the person who received the pass, give them the ball back, and do the same. So lots of zigzagging across, and it looked really well organised. I was very impressed.
Yeah, I mean, massive shout to Callum for that. Callum, we were obviously, like, when we got down there, obviously, on the pitch, and you're sort of like, all right, we'll do a few stretches, sort of get ready for whatnot. And as is sort of tradition, I guess, with maybe you sort of 6-a-side or even 11-a-side, maybe I haven't played that in donkeys, but the basic warm-up is just pepper shots at the goalkeeper and hope we're fit enough and ready to go. And that's kind of how it all started. And then I just heard Callum just sort of go, right, we're doing some warm-ups. So he made us do runs and jumps and all this sort of stuff. And it did feel like, oh, we're actually sort of warming up like a team here. This is good. I'm feeling fresh. I may have exuded most of my energy in the warm-up and just done my legs in, but it was nice. It was good. Again, it was a good sort of way to sort of gauge where people's skill set was. When we did like a little shooting exercise, it was clear to see that our two strikers were probably the only ones who were going to score a goal from open play.
We'll get on to their fates later as well.
Yeah, I know.
Bless them both.
But we it was a fun warm up. It was a good hang. Again, lovely, just sort of in the idle moments of warm ups, just chatting with people, and it did feel a little bit more pro. And that's probably about the moment, especially from where I was thinking of it, was like, oh, we're actually playing a game here. Like, before, in my head, very much I was sort of thinking of this as like, I know it's a charity game, obviously it's a football match, but it's a kickabout, right? It's just a kickabout. This is kind of friendly and whatnot. And then it sets in like, oh, we're taking this wicked seriously. All right, great, good. I really wish I'd lost 2 stone before saying, yeah, I'll play Callum, sure. But yeah, it was great. It was really good fun. Because something I was going to ask you, because obviously you were up in the gantry and stuff. How was that experience for you? Because you've obviously done some commentary relatively recently for some National League teams, and you've obviously done comms many times before in different iterations. In this sort of game, how was that experience overall, even just looking at it from the club or from FC Video and all those various things?
Yeah, let's start with FC Video, because they were absolutely fantastic, super professional. Lee, who came down and did all the graphics and all of the the moving parts and all of the cables plugged in and all of that stuff, like all of the technology was his, and he'd got it set up like 2 hours before we even arrived. Like, it was a really professional setup, and I think it looked really good on the stream as well. There were a few cues that I missed where he put up a graphic and I didn't look in time, and then he was closing down the graphic because I'd not commented on it. But that's my commentary all over the placeness when we go live and things like that. But from my perspective, it was really professional. It was really nice to be, because it's in front of the bars, so there's like glass behind you where there's doors where people are going in and out all the time, and I'm kind of stood behind all of this cameras and stream decks and things, and then our cameraman as well, who was great. And then the tunnel is below us, so it's only 15 or 20 seats total from pitch to the bar. There's not loads of seats there, maybe 150, 200 seats or something in total in that little mini stand that Slough have. And you get a great view of the pitch. You can see all the way across. There's no stanchions in your way. There's There's no one walking in front of you or anything like that, which I have been at grounds before where that's absolutely the case. And I was also really grateful that it wasn't on scaffolding, because I've been doing stuff for Solihull Moors at the moment, and they have scaffolding with a ladder. That's quite scary. And Jeb recently lost a camera to that scaffolding as well. So things can fall off it, people too. And it was swirling wind when we were down there the week before. So that was a little bit like, hold on to the bars, but not too tightly because they might fall off. But Slough doesn't feel like that at all. It's like glass panel fencing and metal bars that are like forced into concrete. So it's a proper good gantry. And as I say, the view is absolutely fantastic. And then my experience of the commentary for the day was just commentate as professionally as I can, try and interact with the odd chat message. Unfortunately, I couldn't look at my notes. My one criticism of the day, for myself, I'm an uber critical person, and so I watched the stream back. Everyone else has been like, "Oh, Steak, you've been lovely. You've been absolutely fantastic. Great on comms, really professional." And I'm like, I hated it. When I listened to it back, I think it's rubbish.
Yeah, well, we're all going to think we were all rubbish at the thing we were there to do.
Yeah, of course. I like, as I say, I'm uber critical, and I'm self-aware enough to realize that I'm not bad at it. I'm just picking up on the tiny points and then focusing on those. And that is that the FM creators gave me some information about them. And I really wanted to make the day about them and say things about them, but I just didn't get time. So the odd oh, he's 6'4", or he's played a little bit before, is all I could really say, really. Whereas like Nerdphonic and Sweet Left Foot gave me like a big spiel. I gave them a couple of like tag questions, gave me like a block spiel of things that they'd done before in the footballing world, and or in their own time, or their experience, just that little anecdotes of school football and things like that. And that would have been really nice to kind of flourish the game out with those kind of things. But in the end, I kind of filled it mostly with the donation link, which I think is really important. It's really important that I said that a lot, but it'd just been nice if I'd been able to add a little bit more colour to the commentary. I think that it was too
I asked you to say about me.
Yes, and I didn't say it. I want to read it out now. I want to read it out now. Let me see if I can find it. Meanwhile, can you tell me about how you're feeling before kickoff? Because that's what's coming up next.
Oh, okie dokie. Well, before I even get into that, I did want to say you absolutely smashed commentary. We've obviously, Callum streamed the game earlier today being Monday, and watched back things. And obviously your comms were exactly as brilliant as I thought they would be. And even just me sort of flicking back through the VOD, you were so good at doing the comms. You didn't miss a moment. You were on it with everything, and it made it. I know this might seem like an odd thing to say, but it made it feel like a proper football match.
Right? I get it.
It made it feel like a proper game. Like, I think, like, if I was commentating on it, I might have, I don't know, forgotten someone's name, or would have just sort of gone slightly distracted. Oh, there's some FMers in the crowd, and then it would have all gone wrong. But you were like on it, commentated the game. Super top performance from you.
Thank you, man. Really appreciate that. And it's really nice to hear that kind of thing. Like, obviously, it's something that I'm really passionate about. So having people say lots of nice things about the day has been very, very nice. And no one said, I can't believe you didn't mention that about me. Can't believe you didn't say this. But I will now read Dan's spiel that he wanted me to introduce him as he came onto the field, whereas unfortunately I just went, and D-Boy Plays joins us on the field, and so does Simaggio, and so because they made a triple sub at the same time. D-Boy Plays is a rotund FM streamer whose ability on the ball is akin to that of a lost deer on ice trying to play football. Fun fact, he was a striker for 2 seasons for his team as a teenager and failed to score a single goal. Since then, he's gone on to win a local 6-a-side league, first time of asking, with his team MK Dongs, which is a great name, by the way, before immediately getting humbled in the division above and losing every game in the following season. His favourite snack is biscuits. That would have been so great if I had that for every single person that joined us on the field, and to say that for the lineups, that would have been so good. But yeah, unfortunately, there just wasn't enough time. And I couldn't look at my phone and things like that as well, because my phone had the chat on it. For the thing, but
that was everything I wanted it to be. That was exactly how I wanted it read, and you nailed it. It was just, his favourite snack is biscuits.
He scored last week for Manchester City. His favourite snack is a bourbon. Favourite biscuit, though. Got to ask.
Oh yeah. Favourite biscuit ever. It might be the Bourbon.
It's a good choice, to be fair.
The cream's up there as well. We're just talking traditional biscuits. If I'm getting fancy, like a BN.
Oh, so you like a sandwich biscuit, is what I'm hearing.
I like a sandwich biscuit. I like sandwiches. I like biscuits. So sandwich biscuit.
Yeah, perfect. And it's basically 2 biscuits at once, isn't it? So what's not to like?
And I will tell you this, Steak. When I get biscuits that aren't like that, I make them like that.
Chocolate spread, peanut butter, something like that in the middle.
It'll be, so if you get like chocolate digestives, instead of just 1, 2 of those bad boys, chocolate in, obviously, I'm not insane. And then have another time.
A friend of the podcast, Pokes FM, would disagree with you on how to eat that biscuit. He says that you want the chocolate side down on your tongue at all times. So he would want it the other way.
Pokes said this?
Yes, Pokes, definitely.
And where does he live? I need to call the police.
Get him. I'm doxing
him. Yeah. You asked me a question. I've already forgotten it.
I've already forgotten it as well. I think
about the day, how I felt.
Yes, how you in the warm-ups. You did the warm-ups, and then teams are walking out of the tunnel, oddly to Yellow Submarine, which wasn't what we requested, but was quite funny. But watching that back, and then because Callum showed me the video of you walking out of the tunnel, it looked really professional, and it didn't have any sound on when he played it. And then I saw it today, and it's just like, we all live in the yellow. And it does take away a little bit from the moment, because the crowd were good, like good round of applause for people coming out, a few whoops and things like that, which is nice to see. But at that point, you must have been bricking it. Come on.
A little bit. I mean, there's always an air of, because look, I'm obviously not the most athletic human being in the world. I'm obviously not the greatest football player within any form of community. So there was a bit of, okay, just don't make a prat of yourself. Just don't make a prat of yourself. I've been joking with my chat all week. They're like, I'm going to fall over. Like, put bets on how soon into the game when I come on am I going to be like face first into the ground. So I was a little bit nervous. I mean, I will say the fact that they played Yellow Submarine instead of Right Here, Right Now definitely took a bit of the tension out of the air, because as it was going on, I do just sort of listening to it, just thinking like, that's not Fatboy Slim. I'm thinking this is perfect. This is exactly what this sort of game needs. Just a sort of almost slapsticky walk-on song.
Yeah.
There were nerves from me, at least. I guess the people in the team that have been consistently playing more than I have in recent years, weeks, days, probably were a little bit more at ease. But I was maybe a little nervous. But that was more just because I didn't want to let Callum down on the pitch more than anything.
Which you absolutely didn't, by the way. Like, I thought absolutely everyone, and there were moments of silliness, falling over and silly goals given away and missed penalties, which we'll get onto later, and things like that. But no one gave a bad account of themselves to the point that I thought, that's embarrassing, you've looked embarrassing. No one was embarrassing, and actually credit to everyone that walked out, because they all did really, really well. And it was really good, and it was a good standard of football. No, definitely. They were all really, 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 really good. Really, I was impressed. I was very impressed. And fitness levels I was impressed with as well, because there were a few unfortunate incidents in the game of a couple of injuries. So initially we had Zims unfortunately go down. Well, I suppose the first thing that happened, the first mini injury, was Clates got absolutely taken out in like the 3rd minute.
A ridiculous
tackle that was given advantage, and then nothing came from the advantage. And it was quite a hard tackle. But as Callum was saying afterwards, I think the Slough fans, because obviously it's their pitch, it's their home team. Most of them are big Slough supporters. Getting to play on the pitch at your home club is such a cool, big idea and big moment in your life, isn't it? Really, like, it's what 100%. Most people dream of as a football fan. Probably hype themselves up a little bit. Did you get that kind of impression?
Oh, 1,000%. I mean, within the first 5 minutes, all I was thinking was, they're taking this seriously, aren't they? I mean, it's like you say, there were like lunging tackles. They were like, I'd even say for maybe the first 10 minutes, they were very much in charge of the game. Like, they were, they'd got that right back who'd got an unbelievable long throw. Outrageous. Like, I remember like standing underneath her. It was like being underneath a rainbow. It's just like, wow, it's gone so far. And yeah, it was they were very much in charge. And like you say, there was a big challenge on Clates. Unfortunately, well, obviously we got the advantage played. And unfortunately, we didn't do anything with it. But yeah, there was that. There were a couple of moments where things maybe got a little bit too heated on the pitch throughout the game. And I do think that as the game progressed, everybody calmed down a little bit more. And then as soon as the sort of silly charity side of things started happening, I think across the whole pitch, everyone went, oh yeah, this is for charity. Because I would even say from like, not saying that, you know, anyone was particularly nasty overall or anything. Even on our side, like there may have been moments where there was like little bits of just sort of like maybe going in at not hard, but you might have left a foot in somewhere accidentally or doing little bits and bobs. And then you sort of, as the silliness sort of unfolds, you go, oh yeah, we're here to raise money for charity, and this is just a kickabout, really. Well, let's just remember that and make it entertaining then for people. And I think that did sort of happen from second half on. But yeah, it was there was some very interesting moments, some very interesting tackles.
Even I think earlier than that as well. I think after both sides had scored a penalty, I felt like it died down a little bit in the roughness of the game. Perhaps as the first wave of I'm quite tired now towards the end of the first half came about, and to be fair, everyone went off the field buddy. I felt everyone was hugging and like from both sides. They were both lovely lads. It seemed. I'm assuming that you got the same impression of the Slough fans, that they were actually really nice. They were a little bit hyped up at the start.
Yeah, they were all top. Like even being on the pitch in those sort of idle moments, there was a point I think during the second half when I was on left wing and I was stood next to their right back, and I couldn't have had a nicer conversation with anyone in the context of a football match. You think like maybe there'd be a bit of sort of banter and sort of digging at each other, but he was just sort of like, "Oh, you're all right, mate. You're all right. Yeah, it's going all right. How you getting on? You're a bit tired. Yeah, me too." And it was just a nice chat more than anything. So I think moods did definitely calm down.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there were a couple of injuries through no fault of any tackles, thankfully.
No, not at all. Not at all.
So Zims went down with the first one just after half time, and we believe he's done his ACL, I think.
It's his MCL.
Right. So a very painful injury. He unfortunately had to be carried off.
Yeah.
I can't remember who carried him off.
It was Hood and someone. Might have been Matt Nerdphonic.
It might have been, yes. A bit of lovely camaraderie there to see, because it's good that he wasn't stretched it off and he was putting a little bit of weight on it, which was good to see. But he drove home afterwards on his crazy man.
I remember I was chatting to him on the bench a little bit about it. It's like, how are you feeling? He was like, this is, I'll paraphrase. And he was like, yeah, it's bad. So I said, okay, well, if you're okay to go home, like, do you need a hand to your car? And he's like, no, I'm good. I've got this. And I was like, okay, well, if you need to go to A&E, like, make sure you do that. And he has posted in our players chat since, and it's less swollen than it was before. He's feeling generally fine. He's just moving at a turtle's pace, is what he said. So I imagine it's just a rest thing.
Yeah, hopefully it's not too much of an issue on his day to day, because that's the issue as well. You don't want to come away from a charity match being unable to walk for 6 weeks, that kind of thing.
Sure.
Which is obviously very worrying. But we send all of our love out to Zims and also to Clates, who took a hell of a hit into the sponsor board, to the point where I had headphones on for the game, because obviously I was doing the commentary, and I couldn't hear people talking on the pitch. I couldn't hear the specifics of what was being said on the tannoy, couldn't hear anything, but I heard that thud into that sponsor board, because it's like a hard metal fence. It's not, it has no give to it. And then it's just got like a tied to sponsor or whatever in front of it. And that's all the padding you get. So like a millimeter of tarpaulin between him and some metal fencing. And it was a hell of a hit, but
brutal, hell of a headbutt. Again, we were watching it back on Callum's stream, and that point, even Callum sort of, he was like, "Oh, I didn't see what happened exactly," and he saw it again. It was like, "I didn't want to see that. That was nasty," and it was, it was a rough incident to happen. And again, once again, a shout out to people at Slough, the physio there immediately charged in. I think she's the reason that he didn't walk away with like needing stitches or anything, because he did also he went straight to A&E after that happened, and he's just got a bit of a perler on his face, lovely big lump underneath his eye. but she got on. I think she sort of glued something together and helped him out with it. But yeah, rest well, fellas. Rest well.
Absolutely. And as you mentioned, Kaz there, the physio from Slough, one of the team announcement of the Slough fans who were involved with the day, Scott McNeish, his assistant manager, and Kaz, the physio. They're all really, really absolutely fantastic, as was everyone at Slough, as I've mentioned 1,000 times now. And I would continue to do so because they were that fantastic. But the response was great. And there was one chap, the captain of the Slough Fans 11, the guy who gave away all the penalties. He was closest to Clates when he went down.
Straight to help him.
He's Slough's women's manager, I believe, or has been, or a coach, or of any something like that. So he's had medical training, is what I'm trying to say. And he, before Clates had even started to get up, he had knee slid down in front of him, put both of his hands on his head, and was straight away doing concussion checks. Like, are you okay? Can you look straight at me? And then Clates tried to stand up. No, take your time. And then Kaz comes over and takes over and does all the stuff with the cuts and things like that. And yeah, it was a really good response from Slough, and everyone there gathered around. Both teams kind of went, "Oh Jesus, that was not very nice." But I'm hearing that he's okay. He's posted on Twitter, and I thought his response was very funny. Of who put that sponsor board there? Excellent response.
Yeah, again, he's been sharing pictures with us of obviously how things are looking, but generally, I think he's doing as far as things can be concerned, he's doing well. But yeah, poor sods. Charity match.
Nah, bless him, and that shows the commitment that was given to the day, because I think that was one of the things that made the game much more interesting, shall we say, is because then yourselves were down to just the 3 rolling substitutes, and that meant that everyone was very tired. And then 2 rolling substitutes when we had the Superman wild card on. So at this point, we've had a couple of penalties. We've gone in at 2-1. Was it at half time?
It was 2-1 at half time. In terms of first half events, obviously, I think Slough scored the chip. One of the first chips over Proudy, which Proudy not done anything wrong there. He's just not on his line, and it's a hell of a finish.
Yeah, bless second yellow card who tried to do a little bit too much and left Proudy in a bit of trouble. But you can't deny the finish. The finish was absolutely beautiful. Whipped over the top into the lock on, and Proudy fully jumps up and tries to just grazes over the top of his fingertips. But yeah, really good first goal, and then a penalty each. So Slough fans got the penalty first.
They did
for a nerdphonic push, I believe.
Yeah, I'm gonna for the audio listeners out here, I'm doing air quotes on push because it was incredibly soft. But it literally, I don't know if you've watched the VOD back, but just before that, they had another corner, and I think it might be the same person. I marked him, and literally it's hand on, gentle hand on shoulder, and he just collapsed to the ground. And I just sort of leaned over and go, lovely acting, by the way. And he was just like, mate, if I feel a hand in the back, I'm going down. I'm like, okay, all right, well, I won't touch you then. I'm not giving away a penalty. And then I do think there might have been just a little bit of contact, but it was very soft. But they got a penalty out of it, and they finished it fantastically.
Yeah, and to be fair to Tom from Tarn, who was the referee, who's a FM community member, and also Panel Plays and How We Roll Owen, who were the touchline officials, we did kind of whisper, if there is a controversial penalty, just give it. It's good for the game, isn't it, for there to be goals and chances like that. So there were a number of penalties in the game. Sure. Down the other end, straight away, yourselves then got a penalty. Clates, before he was off, injured, finished that beautifully, passed into the bottom corner.
Really, really great penalty from him. I'm a little bit annoyed because I was in space, and if he just tapped it on, I could have got a goal. Again, probably would have missed. So I'm glad he got a penalty and scored for us. But yeah, great penalty from him. Keeper didn't even dive.
No, it was right in the corner, almost flicked off the inside of the post, didn't it? Really good finish. And then so it went in 2-1. Then we had Beatrice.
Well, in the first half as well, there was a missed penalty.
Oh, of course, yes. One of our own and FM show's main legend, main comedian, Mr.
Sorry, Tony.
Tony Jameson steps up, wins a penalty because you played whoever wins it takes it, right?
Yeah, for like free kicks and penalties for all of that.
Yeah, and Tony stepped up, and it wasn't the best penalty. It wasn't awful. To be fair, it wasn't
a bad pen.
Penalty. It was a good save. It was a good save. Got down really well for it. Really good save. But yeah, to miss a penalty in a charity match, the first like big event of like, oh no, a mistake. Bless Tony. But no, he handled it really well. I had a chat to him after the game about how he felt about it. He's like, you know what, it wasn't a bad penalty, and it was quite funny, wasn't it? Really. And later in the game, the stuff he did down the touchline, down the wings, made up for it because actually everyone was really good. So even when they did make a mistake, he made up for it by what happened later on. So that was good. But yeah, it was a bit funny. Definitely go and watch that. We definitely won't be retweeting it and posting that penalty miss over and over again for him for the rest of his life. Yeah, definitely not. Oh yeah, love you, TJ.
Yeah, well done, TJ. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, penalty missed, half-time, injuries, and then chaos because one of the game breakers was used as a way of getting the FM content creators back into the game. Super Sai. Super Sai. Tell me about Super Sai.
Right. Well, first of all, for anyone who missed the whole thing, there were a couple of extra rules added to the game. One of them was, I believe it was just titled Super Sub, where for, I think it was 10 minutes of the game, one team could have a 12th man on the pitch. The condition for that 12th man was that they had to wear a superhero costume. And of course, Callum, lovely Callum, has a fantastic Superman outfit, which I've since heard he's left in Slough. So they can borrow it for their next game. And maybe the ref will let them use that rule from now on.
Yeah, it's an EFL rule now. So, you know.
If it's in the books now, so they have to legally. But yeah, so they so as we were walking out for the second half, I think 12 people walked out on our pitch, and Callum was like, "Oh, someone needs to come off. We've got 12." Oh, wait a minute, no, you don't. Sai, come here. Called him over and went, "Put this on," and just gave him a Superman outfit. He was just like, "Okay," and then got ready with it, got his cape stuck on, and I think that was one of the turning points of like, oh yeah, this is a charity game. And it was, and I'll even say this, I think Sai putting on the superhero outfit gave him like an unbelievable level of confidence. Like because he was great in the first half. Sai's someone that plays football regularly, so you could see that he knew what he was doing. But as soon as the kit was on it, he was like, I'm unstoppable. You're not stopping me from running in on goal. I think he had a couple of really good efforts charging forward. And that was, as it were, a game changer for us. And he and thankfully during our event with Sai as Superman, our super sub, he got tackled in their box and got a penalty. And one of the best things about a Superman being on the pitch, is that their goals counted as 2. And Sai absolutely buried his penalty. Like, it was unsavable.
Yeah.
And immediately, especially for us as well, it was just like, oh, now it's on. No, we're winning now. Oh, amazing. Granted, both of our goals came from penalties, but we were winning now. And this is exciting now. And it was, really, 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 really great choice. I believe it was a conversation between Callum and Elujo to do that. And they just went, oh yeah, let's just do that straight away. And what a game-changing moment for us.
Yeah, and it was such fun, really, like to see Sai running up and down with his cape trailing behind him.
Yeah, the best part where he's just following it behind him. He's like, he really is Superman.
Yeah.
Wow. I really wanted him to jump and just
he just kept going. That was his celebration. He went for the Shefty Coochie belly flop and then just took off to the sun.
And then he's gone. We still can't find him.
We've not seen him since.
Yeah.
No, it was a great penalty. And I had a quick word with him after the game about the superhero costume. And he was just like, one thing I took away was it was really hot and really sweaty. And as soon as I took it off, I had to give it to one of the members of the other team, and they had to wear it for 10 minutes. So they must have reeked.
Yeah, could have got 2 superhero outfits, but again, clever mind games from our Callum.
Yeah, definitely.
The sweaty outfit.
Well, I was told that they were supposed to have an Elsa costume for that moment, but someone forgot it, so Brilliant. That's why they had to borrow Callum's. But yeah,
well, there's another thing that the Slough team not necessarily forgot, but accidentally did instead.
Yes. So after they had finished their Superman, they didn't get any goals with their Superman. He did score in the game, but not during Superman. He took the Superman costume off and rejoined the field immediately.
Yep.
So there's 12 players on the pitch.
Last 20 minutes they played with 12
20
players.
minutes. And nobody noticed. And it's not until afterwards that we've looked at the stream and been like, there's 12 Slough fans on the field right now, and there has been for a while.
Well, again, like because I was on the bench for some of that, and I was looking out and thinking, this looks weird. And then again, Lelujo just sort of turned to us and goes, they've got 12 players on the pitch. You went, well, if they got 12, we'll have 13. So me and Second Yellow Card came back on for like the last 30 seconds. We're like, all right, let's go for a run around. So that was fair. No, that was one thing I would say that the officiating did slightly off. But
yes, although there was one other contentious thing that happened as we got later into the game. The chap that was wearing the Superman costume scored a couple of goals, turned the game around to 4-3. One of those goals was beautiful, by the way. A little turn in the box, whip into the top corner. Proudy, absolutely no chance. Proudy, who had been amazing for the rest of the game, by the way.
Unbelievable game.
One of the players of the match for both sides, let alone just the FM content creators. Proudy was absolutely fantastic in goal. Definitely go and watch some of his saves, because proper sweeper keeper. Very impressed. So it's 4-3 at this point. And Callum has a shot from distance, really good save, couple of corners, an amazing bicycle kick that's saved by the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
And at this point, we're running out of time for the pitch. So an agreement is made that if it becomes 4-4 before the 80th minute, you'll stop the game and do penalties, basically. Either that or they'll run the rest of the game through, no added time. So 10-minute penalties or the game carries on. And there's a moment where Rich Owens has the ball at his feet in the penalty area. He lays it off to Callum and with aplomb slots it into the bottom corner, and the Slough fans are on their knees crying, and the FM creators are celebrating. They've equalised and we're going on to penalties, and it's an amazing, unbelievable story. And we look to the side, and Mr. Parnell plays the official for the day, linesman for the day, has his flag in the air. And at the time, I must admit, I thought it was offside. I thought it was good yard or so offside, and Callum was coming back from an offside position. But we have since seen freeze frames with two players playing Callum onside. The moment. It could have been such a good moment.
That would have been amazing. Yeah. I like looking back at it again, watching it on Callum's stream earlier. Like he put it at 50% speed, was going through it frame by frame, and and it wasn't even like Rich passed the ball to me. It bounced off his legs and went towards Callum. And even Callum said, arguably, he should have just moved out the way and let Rich had a shot. But obviously, in that moment, everybody wants to score a goal, so he just sort of let the ball move towards him and kicked it a goal. But after the ball was moving towards him, the two Slough players moved him into an offside position, but the ball had already been played. So, frustratingly, Callum was denied an equaliser, which would have taken it straight to penalties. So, in terms of how a game goes, they won 5-3 because they had 12 players and scored 2 goals and it was the 12th person that scored both goals. We had a disallowed goal that shouldn't have been disallowed. Parnell, if you're listening to this, never pick up that flag again. Hang your head in shame. If he comes into any chat that I've got a sword in, he's getting timed out until I hear "I'm sorry."
Bless Parnell, because he did come to me after the game. It was like, State, was it offside? Please tell me it was offside, please. And I was like, I'm pretty sure it was offside, mate, from my perspective in the commentary. And I've seen it twice on a replay as well, by the way. Not everyone else has seen it on a replay, so clearly my eyes are gone. I was like, I think it's offside, mate. I think you've made the right call there. And he was like, yeah, it looked offside to me. And it's a split-second decision. And as you say, Callum's had to slow it down, and we've had to freeze frame to find the fact that it's onside. And so, fair enough, Parnell. We don't blame you, really. Callum does. Callum does.
Oh, 100%. And enter his chat with absolute caution.
Yes, definitely.
Because you will get daggers. It was funny as well, because later in the night as well, I think it must have been after a few pints or whatnot, but chat with Parnell, and he even just sort of says, I had a faultless performance as a linesman.
Up until that point, to be fair, I think he did.
In my head again, I was just sort of thinking about, well, yeah, you must have. Yeah, sure, of course you did. And now in retrospect, we all despise him for ruining charity. No. Easy mistake to make. These things happen. He's only human, and we forgive.
Absolutely,
we forgive it.
We do. But Callum doesn't.
No.
You'll have to grovel. If you're listening, Parnell, you'll have to grovel to Callum just a little bit. But everyone else forgives you because it was funny. So they went down the other end of the pitch and finished the game off at 5-3 with 12 men on the field. It was the hat trick for the chap that was wearing the Superman costume that didn't. And that meant that he then shaved his head for charity, I believe.
Yeah, he did.
He basically tweeted beforehand, or said in his player reveal tweet, if I don't score a hat trick, I'm donating £20 to Mind. And if he does, then they've made him shave his head, and he raised quite a decent chunk towards the budget, which is really, really good.
The thing I liked about that as well is right at the end of the game, one of the people working at Slough did say, like, oh, he wanted a 4, but because Scotty Davies shaved his head, he said, oh, he wanted a 4, but Scotty gave him a 1. As he was there, and he looked mortified, and I said, hey, and I'm like, obviously, like, I haven't got any hair, and I was there. We were sort of like, hey, look, it can be a good look, and he was like, oh, I hate it. It's like, gotta learn to live with it now, buddy. You
got to embrace the boldness when you've got it, because to be fair, bold is beautiful.
So beautiful.
You do have to have the head shape for it. I think we do. I'm not sure if he did. No offense, he scored a hat trick. I'm sure he doesn't care.
Yeah. If he's got an odd-shaped head. He scored a hat trick in a charity match. He's better than both of us.
Exactly. Although he did do it with an extra man on the field that nobody noticed for 20 minutes.
But now he's saying nothing. So all the scales have been balanced. State.
Yeah, exactly. Because he now has less hair than he wanted, and everyone is happy. And the most important thing is there is more money in the charity pot, which is what we all care about. I am just looking at the charity pot now, and it's I believe it's without the Slough tickets in it at the moment.
No tickets and none of the charity bin.
Yes, excellent. So it's over 2,000, and I believe it was roughly 800 on the gate or something along those lines. I think. Don't quote me on that. It might not be that. I think they said 2,500 when at the end of the game, and since then there's been a good 100 or so. So please donate if you can. As I said earlier on in the video, the donation link will be down below us and on various social medias and things like that. We'll continue to post it all week, and any people involved in the game, if they comment about the game, have been directing brilliantly to the link. So continue to give if you can. If you can't, completely understand. Times are definitely tough. So don't push yourself too far if you can't, but if you can, any penny is loved and appreciated. And thank you to anyone that's donated so far.
100%.
So match gets finished. We get a celebration from the lads. Callum has to go on the pitch at halftime in the actual Slough game to present them a trophy, which I'm sure he loved doing.
No, you must have been ecstatic.
Considering at this point, Callum's starting to get to the stage where he can't walk that much. Like, as with everyone that's played, limping and hobbling has begun, because after there being no substitutes for you guys, everyone played 80 odd minutes at least. I think McKinn's played the full 90 and didn't leave the field at any point.
I think
there was a few.
Callum, McKinn's and Nerdphonic both probably had collectively about 5 minutes rest.
Yeah. Crazy. Absolute credit to anyone involved. And because not all of them play football, not many of you play 11-a-side football, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You must have been absolutely shattered when that final whistle went.
Well, I was tired before it went. I was tired. Again, being mildly sort of self-absorbed, I was like, I'm going to see how long I actually played. I think accumulatively, I did about half an hour across the whole game. But even like the first stint, I think I did like 10 minutes, and I just remember thinking, my legs are on fire. This is outrageous, and I needed help. I needed to sit down. There were far more important things that had happened with other people, but I was very much like, I'm done. So when the game sort of came to an end. I can't imagine how exhausted some of those lads were, but yeah, it was knackering. 11 aside, massive.
Yes.
You
And
forget how
Slough's
big
pitch
a
is
pitch is.
actually really big as well, like wide and long.
Yeah.
Like it's a really good sized pitch.
Yeah.
So I think the first couple of switch of play balls that went through that didn't quite make it to the touchline, and people kind of went, "Oh Jesus, this is bigger than I remember a football pitch being from the touchline. It doesn't look this big." Imagine it looked absolutely massive when you're on the field, right?
Yeah, miles. You'd see someone and you think, "Oh, I can get the ball to them," and then you realize I've really got to hit it to actually make it get to this person who's realistically not that far away from you. So yeah, huge pitch. Yeah.
From that point on, you then showered, got changed, and then pretty much straight away, once everyone was back, it was start drinking. Was pretty much the quickly buy a Slough shirt from the Slough shop if you could, which I know a number of us did, because this shirt behind me, if for the audio listeners, it's Slough's away white with zigzag stripes across it. It is a beautiful away kit. So a lot of us were pretty keen to pick that up from the day. It's a little bit tight on my moobage, but I'm gonna wear it with pride anyway. And it's a lovely shirt, so I'm glad that we got to pick that up. But then yes, it was on to, it wasn't even a night out. I worked it out earlier. It was 12 hours of drinking if you got to the final, even more if you were definitely not locked in. The wheat sheaf. Apologies, the wheat sheaf. So like 12, 13 and a half hours of drinking from that point on meant that we had a very, very fun, slightly messy night with everyone involved and everyone that came down. And it was absolutely wonderful.
It was great. It's absolutely fantastic night out. Again, because I think something to take away from the weekend that's not the football is that, an FM meetup, you're never quite sure how it's going to go, especially if you're, if it's some people's first time. If you don't know the people that are going to turn up, first of all, you don't know what sort of vibe people are going to be in. You don't know who's going to be the energetic, the funny ones, the characters that are going to be there. But every single time I've been lucky enough to go to these meetups, everyone has fully embraced it. Everybody's chatting. We're all hanging out. Like there are points in the night where you're with different groups of people even from like just different streamer groups, a group of people that are maybe friends because they watch X streamer, and then a bunch of people that are friends because they work around that stream and things like that. And then eventually they sort of all morph and form, and everybody starts mingling into a big group. And it's great. It's such a good fun hangout, and you just get to spend a night with incredible people, wonderful human beings, and some highlights of my evening, which I'm going to give zero context to, because I think that's funnier. One was both Rich and I getting Cozza Bob to do face acting, but every scenario, he would always find a crisp £5 note at the end of it. So we wanted to know how he'd react with that. And they got more and more ridiculous, to the point where Rich and I were in between each other having a go, Googling world events, and just having loads of fun doing that. Sitting in the garden at Wheat Sheaf, pitching different drinks that have not been carbonated but should have been, including but not limited to gravy, bovril, milk, and mushy peas.
Mushy peas, carbonated mushy peas. That's what the world has been screaming out for. Let's be honest.
Carbonated carbonara. It's halfway there. Just get it done, Italy. Get on with it,
Yeah, what are you doing, Italians? It's not like you're pride over your food at all, No. You don't mind it when people mess with your traditional recipes at all. Throw it through a soda stream.
Yeah, chuck it in a soda stream. It'll be fine. What are you fussing about? That was essentially the crux of it. Rastafari and Roy Hodgson. I'm saying no more context to that.
No impressions can go on the internet with that one, but funny.
And then, although Rich and I did not partake in this evening, the Brick House.
The Brick House?
Is it the Brick House?
I might be confused to this one.
The nightclub.
Yes.
Nightclub.
Yes, right. Yes, at the end of the night, some of us decided massively foolishly.
Some of us, Callum,
Callum and Salty B decided that
Yeah.
we should go night clubbing. Salty B thought we were going night clubbing in Windsor. We weren't. We were going night clubbing in the Slough. So we kind of trundled down to this nightclub, and it was a aggressive hip hop R&B from the 90s and early noughties of people that aren't that recognizable. Like obviously residually living through those decades, you pick up what kind of people you're going to expect. You expect to hear, your Eminems, your Jay-Z's, that kind of thing.
Sure.
And it was people I'd never heard of and songs I'd never heard of that were being very loudly blasted in this club. And to the point where everyone's like, I don't really want to dance. But me and Callum were like, oh, go on, we'll dance. So we danced to one song, and Callum leaned over to the DJ and he goes, can you play Oasis, please? Can you play Oasis? And the DJ goes, yeah, I'll play Oasis. Just, one more, couple of songs. And so we continue dancing very badly. I'm sure the clip of me and Callum dancing that Jebaru recorded will be public, to which many face palms and cringes will be had. Please don't criticize my dancing too much. Thanks, everyone. Love you.
Great moving.
Thanks, man. And he didn't play the song for very long. So Callum goes back over and goes, mate, are you going to play Oasis anytime soon? We want to hear some Oasis. We want to get all the lads on the dance floor. Stick Don't Look Back in Anger on. Come on. Throw something good on that we can all dance to. And he was like, yeah, we'll do. Time went on. One more ask. Callum, mate, please, can you put on Oasis? Yeah, we'll do. I'm getting to it. We're in there for half an hour. He never plays Oasis. We all drink some silly, expensive drinks and then go, well, this is rubbish, isn't it? And we all go home. Yeah. Expecting to go on until 3 a.m. dancing on the dance floor. We were there for probably less than half an hour. We had 2 drinks, 6 minutes of dancing in total, 2 songs of dancing. And then only me and Callum basically joined on the dance floor. And then everyone else just kind of filmed us and went, side to side bopping, and then we walked out and went, nah, this is kind of rubbish. So it was a funny end to the night, and apparently that's what happened last year as well. So
could have done.
So we didn't learn, apparently.
No.
But the real fun was definitely to be had in Spoons of the Wheat Sheaf. That was where the majority of the mingling happened. The cheap drinks, obviously, in the Moon and Spoon, the Weatherspoons, and then we moved to the Wheat Sheaf, where people could kind of gather in their little groups standing up and in the garden and things like that, get a little bit of air. And that was kind of, I thought, when people kind of moved about a bit more, because obviously you're not sat down, you get to move between the groups, and every time you buy a pint, you kind of just join another group, which I think was, you mentioned it, is absolutely great that you could just talk to anybody. Anybody was really willing, because the worst comes to the worst, you can go, oh, what's your Football Manager save? Or, what did you think of the short clip of Football Manager FM 26 this week? Were you impressed, or things like that? So the very worst, we all had something in common. Every single person there either plays or watches Football Manager content, makes or watches Football Manager content. So we all had something in common. It was just really easy to talk to everyone. And I know there are a number of people there that I think would have considered themselves shy, or been nervous about going in, but every single person impressed me and got in and got chatting, and I got a lot of hugs. It was great. It was just absolutely lovely to see everybody, and really, really want to give a shout out, to those of us that joined us from abroad. Crazy. Owen, Sass, David Nyholm, various other people that came from Zeep, various other people that came from the extremes of the UK.
Technically, hello.
Yes.
And Billy.
Yeah. So many people came from abroad or really far away to come to this silly meetup where they'd never met anyone before, just chatted in chats, and then they got right stuck in, and it was a great laugh. It was just wholesome fun. Everybody was lovely. And I just really enjoyed myself, and I'm sure you did too.
Oh, yeah, I had an absolute blast. It's been one of my highlights of the year.
Yeah,
the whole weekend, getting to play on a big football pitch, getting to hang out with some of my favorite people ever. And again, people that even if you spend, nearly an entire year just watching their face in a corner while they play a game, and we just chat loads of rubbish and do all sorts of nonsense in their chat and just try and make each other laugh all the time, and then all of a sudden you're in front of them and you're like, I finally get to they're real. They're right there, right in front of you, and you can you can actually sort of talk to them face to face, and it's wonderful. Yeah, what a weekend. Best thing that's happened this year, I think.
Yeah, certainly for me, that's how I would rank it. It's my highlight of the year so far. 3 absolutely excellent days, and it was lovely staying in an Airbnb with yourself, Rich, and Callum as well.
Oh yeah.
Got to kind of experience the whole thing with tagging around Callum, because obviously Callum's the organizer and the Slough aficionado, we should say.
Yes.
We kind of got to experience every moment of the weekend, which is absolutely fantastic. And I got to carry him home, sort of. There was just a point where after the dancing, Callum's feet just stopped working. It was blessing, because he'd done almost the full 90. He'd been on his feet all day. He'd done some dancing, and we left the club and we kind of walked or staggered over back towards the Moon and Spoon, because the club was further away. Yeah. And Callum was just like, he was gone at that point. Most people were. Most people have had a great time at this point, and had had a lot of beverages. As I said, nearly 12 hours of drinking for some people. So I had to have my arm around him and stagger home, and he was just going, chicken, but we never got any chicken. We just kind of staggered all the way home, and I kept him out of any roads, and then we went to bed. And he, just before he went to bed, he sat on the toilet watching the replay of the game, which he says he doesn't remember. Very funny. You could just hear it through the door of just my commentary voice, and him just sat there.
Well, we were chatting in the living room just about like, oh yeah, I'm a bit tired and stuff, and then you just like, I can hear me. There's just a Callum in the toilet watching himself play football. It's just what a lovely cap to the whole day.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah. It was just an absolutely wonderful weekend, as I say, and I just can't thank everybody enough. Really, thank you 100%. To anybody that turned up to the event. Whether you played, whether you're involved on the pitch, whether you just joined us for a beer, whether you just watch the game, absolutely anything. Thank you so much. Whether you're involved in organising as well, anyone involved in organising the event was wonderful and lovely, as was anyone there as well. And anyone that joined us in the chat as well. And most importantly, anybody that has donated, even a penny. Thank you so much. Wonderful cause. Check down below once again. I'm going to call it out again. I said it loads of times in the stream as well.
You got a flow of it. You've got that.
Yeah. I got the spiel going on. But yeah, thank you to everyone, and thank you to Callum as well, because
he deserves all the praise in the world.
Yeah, he got a little bit emotional at the end because the game actually went on this time, and he'd actually successfully done it, and it'd been stressing him out quite a lot in the build up. I hope he doesn't mind me saying that it was quite stressful to organise something like this with so many people and so many moving parts. And him and Aid and Connor bounce back and forth to get everything organised, and bless them for getting it on and going. But Callum deserves all the credit in the world for putting on one of the best weekends the FM community's ever seen.
Yeah.
And hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll happen again next year.
That would be amazing
or soon, definitely.
Yeah.
I think there are obviously a few things, this being the first time, you'd iron a few things out. I think some people that might have been a little bit nervous about getting involved this time, I would thoroughly encourage you to get involved next time, because it was great. I'm sure it will do even better next time. But this was wonderful. And it was just absolutely great. Any final thoughts about the charity game, mate?
Not really. I mean, you've kind of said everything. It was an amazing opportunity to be involved. It was wonderful on any level being able to help Callum with any of this, and Callum and the people at Slough and everyone that played, like you say, everyone that played, everyone that came down, everyone that's donated. You've all absolutely smashed this weekend, and like you say, the link's going to be open for another week or so. So anybody who can, chuck a couple of quid in, might as well see if we can top it up a bit more. But yeah, absolutely incredible weekend, and wonderful to be involved in it.
Yeah, I completely agree. I don't know about you, buddy, but that to me seems like a podcast.
It felt like one.
It did. It did. I thought it was a great time, as was this weekend. And thank you to you for joining me, my lovely, wonderful twin and co-host, Mr. D-Boy Plays. Dan, where can we find you if you want to find you?
Well, if you'd like to come and watch me win the World Cup with Ireland, or managing in the past, I'm going to be over on twitch.tv tv.com/dboy plays. What about you, Steakbake? If people want to find you on the internet anywhere, or just know where you live, where can they find you?
Well, I live in. Yeah, I was actually going to say the town where I lived, and then I thought, no, it's too small. I can't say it.
It's too narrow.
I live in England. There we go. That's as much as you get. If you do want to come see me, probably keep an eye on my Twitter. That's probably the best way to do it. At the steak. It's just at the Steak Bake. I think I've forgotten my own Twitter. It is at the Steak Bake. At the Steak Bake. That is where you can find me on Twitter. And anything that I do, I will post on there. Because at the moment I'm not streaming, but you know, who knows in the future? You never know. You never know.
Absolutely worth saying as well. Twitch.tv/RichOwensFM and Twitch.tv/Jebaroo, and man in the middle, Twitch.tv/YCallum, the man who made it happen.
Definitely go give all three of those guys a follow, because you know Rich was absolutely fun. We've not even mentioned Rich in the game. I know. We'd have to tag it on now. Rich, you were fantastic in the game. I thought you were really good, although you should have shot and taken that shot away from Callum. It'd have been funnier.
Graceful.
Yeah. Great. He was graceful, wasn't he? And he had the kind of slicked back, not quite Jack Grealish, but almost nicer than it was. Beautiful hair Rich had for the full weekend, and he just kind of glided around the football field.
Watching him run was a gift.
It was. But watching Rich Owens in general is a gift. And that's why you should go and do it on Twitch. Twitch.tv/RichOwensFM. I think that's all we've got to say, isn't it, Dan?
Yeah, sounds about right.
Thank you very much for joining me, buddy.
Wait a minute.
What?
No, it isn't, Steak. What? FM26 trailer. Thoughts?
Oh, yeah, they put a trailer out. It had a shiny trophy.
Yeah.
Cool.
Looked all right.
Yeah. I'm pleasantly excited.
I'd like more updates, please, Si, but I'm excited.
Thank you, SI. Please, more updates. Excitement is building. These are the first bubbles of excitement.
The first bubbles from a recently soda-streamed Sports Interactive Football Manager 2026.
Carbonara. Thank you very much for joining me, buddy. And thank you very much to you as well, our lovely and wonderful audience. We couldn't do any of this without you. So thank you for joining us. See you later. Love you lots. And goodbye.